What is up, guys? Good morning. I kind of have something I feel a little guilty about. I know we have so many cars, it's like ridiculous. But I brought something really special home in the trailer. Check it out. Are you guys ready for it? It's not Japanese. It's something a little different. Oh! Literally took those corners so fast. We just knew it was safer to lay on the ground than it was to stay sitting up.
You gotta stay low.
What do we got?
Stay low. James hit the ground hard.
This wasn't my idea. They wanted to do this on the ground.
He was like, if you want your jobs, get in the back.
So I was here, ended up there.
Yeah, literally. I got
so that wasn't an act. You guys actually.
No, we literally fell.
We have a video.
Fell.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh shoot.
Oh. Oh my god.
I wish. Oh, we should have brought chairs with wheels. And just sat like this the whole time.
If he gunned it from right there.
Oh my god.
Alright, all jokes aside, we brought the trailer empty home so we could take this ramp over to the warehouse. As fun as it is, I really don't ride it much because it's in the front yard and people just honk their horns at me and I really don't like it. So we're gonna bring it to the warehouse and we'll also kind of get rid of some of the problems we have trying to play magical musical cars trying to back out of the driveway.
Oh yeah, that is 6'5".
That is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, that's not where it came from.
No, it did. Right. It came from
It didn't come from Six Flags.
A theme park invented.
Yeah, they created that.
It's raining.
Oh no.
What are you guys doing?
So what do you think?
How do you guys put that on the truck?
I like the haircut.
But the eating part.
Oh dude, I'm hungry, but we have to get this done first.
We hungry here.
Yeah.
I would have waited and eat with you guys.
I'm sorry. How's it look up there, Matt?
Looks good. We're sturdy.
Alright.
James, how you doing?
Before crazy neighbor thinks
Doing
we're crazy.
great.
Rob, what do you think of this?
I think you should have built a bigger one. We have the room for it. These are small trees. We have plenty of
Oh, I
clearance.
forgot we have to pay attention to trees.
Oh jeez.
You're good though.
This one, this one might be debatable. But I mean, worst case, we cut off a couple leaves.
No, we're good. You're clear.
Oh, we're by inches. The lawnmen are judging us.
Oh, wow, yeah. Just pointing and laughing. How's it going?
Every Tuesday we do this.
It's a skateboard ramp.
He makes us move it every Tuesday. We're skateboarders.
We're feeling safe right now. Rob's feeling safe. James feeling safe.
Hit a tree, I don't care. I got a helmet on. I just need to enjoy the breeze. What's the visor? It's so much How do I do it?
On the side, Rob. There you go. We're seeing
oh,
now.
The airflow is beautiful.
I think you're good. Truck stuff.
Yep. 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 Yep.
You should-
boys.
You better zoom in.
Very basic afternoon, just ate some Chipotle with the guys and now I'm gonna run over to Starbucks, grab some coffee, and then head back home and work on Nicole's 240 with Alberto. I don't know if you can tell by the fact that some of the videos elapsed already and it's not dark yet, but I was actually able to edit most of the video yesterday. So I was able to get an early start today and it really feels great. Look who it is!
What's up, guys?
Alberto's back with a fresh new haircut. And a fresh new phone.
I got a little iPhone now, so I joined the little iPhone clubs. So now we can like FaceTime and do all kind of. I can actually receive videos that he sent me with my old phone. I couldn't even see them.
He used to be that inconvenient Android user, so we'd always have to Facebook Messenger together.
And then especially now I can finally, hopefully, do proper live videos and not be like the voice out of sync or like crappy quality and horribleness.
Now that Alberto's here, he's gonna help me look at an issue that's actually been bothering a lot of you guys. You may notice that in Nicole's car, her shifter, when she's in like first gear, looks like she's in fifth. So when we actually put in the 1J, for whatever reason, the way that these engine mounts are, the whole entire engine sits pretty crooked like this. And that's why the oil pan hangs so low and got bashed in by like a random big bump in the construction on the road. And that's also why her whole transmission sits crooked. So Alberto's gonna help create some sort of spacer system so we can get the engine to sit level. And we're gonna swap the oil pan to one that isn't dented because it may be kind of affecting the pickup tube in there, which is not good.
Not good at all.
Another thing I'm gonna try to do while Alberto's here is yet again pull Nicole's entire front end apart so I can put the radiator that isn't held together by JB Weld in, but we're gonna have to tack weld the shroud to it. So do I know anybody that welds? Let me think. I think you do.
Auto well, what is that?
When you don't have an engine hoist, you make do. Right, Alberto?
Yeah. People are gonna hate me. It's like, what the hell's Alberto doing? That's not the right tool to use this and that. And like,
Hey, it's more realistic.
okay.
You gotta make things work sometimes. Not everybody has the perfect tool for the perfect job. We have the old radiator with the little JB Weld fix down in there, which surprisingly held up. Got the new one right here, and then this is what was currently on the shroud in terms of fans. This is a 12-inch Mishimoto race fan. This is a 12-inch Permacool fan. I couldn't fit two 12-inch Mishimoto fans because, as you can see, they're slightly bigger, and it would have hung this one way far off the edge. So I got an 11-inch one, which is basically the same size as a standard 12-inch fan, so I should be able to fit both of those and then have way more cooling power. With the 11-inch, there's a very small gap in the shroud, but I should be able to just cover that up with weather stripping, and that should prevent the air being sucked through here, because the whole concept of a radiator and fans is that the air is going to be pulled through the area with the least resistance. So you want to like kind of plumb this up, that way it pulls through the radiator and not through this gap. I have all these old holes from the old fans, and instead of just putting a bolt and nut in them like I was planning on doing, Alberto's so nice he's going to weld up the holes for me, which will look way nicer. Beautiful job, Big Boost. This radiator actually doesn't have the welded nuts on it, so I'm actually just gonna have Alberto weld the shroud straight to it. Just a few tacks should be fine. A lot of you guys were mentioning about the issue with Nicole's fender getting pulled in by the wheel, that adding some fender braces would help. And conveniently enough, my friend Kevin, who I met up in Connecticut from Good Ride with the really pretty purple hatch that I did my first competition with, he actually sells these really cool fender braces, and he sent me a couple, so I'm gonna use them on Nicole's car, and then I'm gonna give a set to Matt.
Yes.
Say thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
I'll put a link to him in the description. Kevin's a really rad dude. So this just kind of like bolts to the frame here and then right here to the fender, which gives it a lot of sturdiness, and it doesn't let it just like get sucked in by the tire, get rubbed, and make Nicole spin out.
And me.
And that. Came out sick. Thanks, Alberto.
Yeah, no problem. At least it works now. Hopefully this time was the third time the charm. I think. How many times has it been? Is it the third time?
I've probably had this thing out like 8 times now. So we've got pretty much everything done with the car other than a few nuts on the bumper, and I have to wire up a relay for the additional fan because those fans are actually so strong that you're supposed to have one on each individual relay. So I'm gonna run to the store, pick up some inline fuses to put from the power source, and I only have this half of the relay, so I want the other half just to make it look nice. Alberto was able to fix the tilt on the engine a little bit, but if you can tell, it is still slightly tilted. To get it proper, I think we'd have to redo the motor mounts entirely. But at least for now, it made the oil pan a little bit higher than before, which should hopefully avoid some damage. It's getting really late and I'm losing motivation, so I'm gonna turn the music on, which means I can't really film while I'm doing this stuff. So I'll give you a really simplistic explanation of what I'm doing. On the relay, we'll have power going here, the fans will go here, and basically when it gets a signal through this, this little bridge will close and allow power to be delivered to the fans. So we'll have the signal, I think it's when the ignition is turned on, that's how the other fan is wired. Other side's just a ground, and then that will effectively allow the fans to turn on. So we have the other end that I just picked up with the pigtails instead of just putting connectors on this, which I've done in the past and it looks really bad. And then for the actual power to the relay, I have a 30 amp inline fuse, and I'm gonna run one of these for each relay. All right, I'd say it probably took me about an hour and a half, and I finished up all the wiring. I obviously could have done it much faster, but I really took my time and tried to make everything look really nice. If you've been a subscriber for more than a few days, I'm sure you've noticed I take a lot of pride in my things, and although a lot of people look at these drift cars with an attitude like do the bare minimum to get it to work and don't really go above and beyond, I feel like because of the fact that I have more time than most people, because of the fact that I don't have a day job, and because of the fact that I care so much, I always try to go a little bit above and beyond the norm. So that's why I'm always repainting this thing. I'm putting way too much time into little stupid stuff like wiring fans or making sure the radiator isn't slightly crooked. A lot of time, a lot of heart, and a lot of soul goes into these cars, so I'll be damned if it's something I'm not proud of. Cole, you remember what it sounded like when you had just one big boy fan? Get ready to see what it sounds like with 2 big boy fans. Here. Alright, that's good. It's just making sure they blow in the right direction, because if you hook them up backwards, I'm pretty sure they blow the other way. I actually don't know. That could have been really stupid. But I swear when I test them, like if you hook them up backwards, they spin reverse. I don't know. The only thing I'm not insanely stoked about is how this weather stripping looks here. It would have been way cleaner if I just had a new shroud, but unfortunately this is all I had to work with, and trying to get her car done. A long time ago, a subscriber from Riverside, California, who goes by the name of Jesse Alba, saw that we were using these garbage AutoZone air filters, and he actually works at K&N, and he sent us an air filter. So I'm putting it on your car, Nicole. You deserve this.
Do you already have one?
I have a different one, but mine's not a garbage one. I had a garbage one. I had a garbage one before. Thanks, Jesse. Currently around midnight, so it looks like my schedule of editing videos the same day as I film them is no longer gonna happen because I think I should spend the rest of the night with Nicole for sure. One more thing that I haven't shown you guys. I know I showed you before. I think that we got 235/40 18s mounted on these rear wheels, and they were a little bit beefy. So we swapped them out for 225s, and they look a lot nicer. A little more stretch probably than is necessary, but it's still pretty modest and functional. It just looked super beefy before, but I've got a busy schedule tomorrow, but I'm hoping to bleed her car. I gotta fill it up with coolant. Another thing that I wanna do before this weekend's show is a whole rear brake setup, because it's kind of hard to tell, but what's inside of these wheels is pretty ugly in there. So I have the really nice Z32 brakes, but it's not just a simple Z32 brake caliper swap, because I'm actually trying to install the whole entire Z32 handbrake assembly. So you have to like pull off the knuckle, and I'm doing all that because I want Nicole to be able to still have a factory handbrake. Maybe it'll work sufficiently enough for her while drifting, but at a minimum, I think it's really important to have a parking brake. I know it's a pain in my car because I don't have one. All I have is the hydro. Some people use it as a parking brake by putting like a bungee cord around it or wedging something back there, but I've heard it wears out the seals in the master, so who knows. You guys did by far way past what I expected you would with the likes on yesterday's videos, and as a result, Nicole's Miata is getting repainted. I have to hit up my friend Randy from Star Performance, who does all the paint stuff for me, and see, hopefully it won't be too expensive because it's such a tiny car and because it's a simple respray. But he's gonna respray this car too. I'm gonna do that while I'm gone in Japan, and we're gonna try to get it more yellowy, kind of like the old cream that I used to have on this car. Probably around the same time as when we'll be doing the pop-up swap on Nicole's car. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you and your family and your friends and your face. I'm tired. Good night, guys.